Welcome to the second episode of The Signature Show, Signature's latest offering to stay connected to you while our doors are closed. If you want to get an alert every time there's a new episode of The Signature Show, just make sure you click on the red button below this video. We have a lot in store for you during this episode, but I wanted to start with a little memory. Back in 2015, I directed the signature revival of West Side Story. It featured a cast of 30 people, an orchestra of 17, all in front of an audience of only 300 people a night. It was one of the biggest things Signature has ever done, and one of the things that I am most proud of. As a special treat for you, here's our Tony, Austin Colby, singing Something's Coming.
Could be. Who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. We make them cannonballing down to the sky, gleaming its high, bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, phone will jingle, door will knock, open the latch. Something's coming, don't know when, but it's soon. Catch the moon, one-handed catch. Around the corner, whistling down the river. Come on, deliver to me. Will it be? Yes, it will. Maybe just by holding still, it'll be there. Oh, come on, something, come on in. Don't be shy, need a guide, pull up a chair. The air is humming, and something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach. Maybe tonight, maybe tonight, maybe tonight.
First, I'd never heard of Signature, any of the theaters for that matter, in DC. And that's crazy because I was born and raised in DC. Don't judge me. Anyway, I remember first looking at the theater and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a beautiful place. And I walked in, hit that button, made it up to that floor. And I don't know who the person was at the time, but I've always said that the greeting is what gets you when you first walk off the elevator. I remember saying, okay, I hope to one day be able to work here. Hairspray was the first time that I was kind of like just immersed into the DC theater world. I was a newbie, you know, never worked with any of the ones that was in the room. And so I just remember kind of like sitting off on the side. And then there was Chéri. Oh my gosh. And I remember just her walking up to me with her, you know, her Southern accent and how she talked. Hey girl, how you doing, girl? And that show helped bond our sisterhood that we had. Because from there we did Xanadu together. She was my sidekick. And then in Whorehouse, I was her sidekick. Those first three were like my thing, because my sister Chéri, she was amazing. I learned so much from her, just like character studies, how to give into the silliness, because I'm not as silly, but that Xanadu took me out of my comfort zone, and I had to, because she was going there. She was all the way in. She wasn't afraid of anything. Was great for so many reasons. One, because I had already done it before, so I was excited about jumping in and learning something new about the character. So and it had been a while since the last time I had done it. But also being able to bring Darius in and to work with him on the inside to help create this beautiful production. Being able to do that with Darius, and then with Lacage, and then Jelly's Last Jam, those were some very, very good highlights to my career, and I will cherish them forever, especially those memories with him. Signature has been a place where my now 11-year-old has grown up in. I mean, he was a year old when I first entered that building. Knowing that I'm in a space where my children are safe is, most important for me. I can honestly say that I've never had to choose whether I had to be a mother or an actress, and that's also one of those things where it's kind of hard. My child is sick, but I have to go to work. There's no question, what's important, and I don't feel pressured by having to make that choice. I really appreciate that, and that's a place where I feel like I can create most, being in a space like Signature. And having that family is first and most important is what's really, truly, truly special to me. Hairspray, Xanadu, Whorehouse, Dreamgirls, Crossing, Elmer Gantry, Diner, La Cage aux Folles, Jelly's Last Jam, Silvervells, Ain't Misbehavin', Blackbeard, Assassins, and a host of cabarets, and my special cabaret, Defying Gravity, Makings of a Supernova. I can't wait till we get back into space again where it's safe. I want us though, once we do get back into that space, to remember that we hold a responsibility to still encourage each other, to love each other, to support each other, and to probably go a little bit further than what we were doing before, because we have come through this time.
Hi, I'm Carrie Epstein, Signature Theater's production stage manager for the past 14 seasons. Last year, Signature hit a very special milestone, its 30th Sondheim production. Signature has produced more musicals by Mr. Sondheim than any theater in the United States, and audiences have come to expect to see Sondheim's work on our stage. Signature opened its first home with Company, its current home with Into the Woods, and most recently produced productions of Passion, A Little Night Music, and Assassins. The first Sondheim musical Signature Theater ever produced was Sweeney Todd in 1991 at Arlington's Gunston Middle School. With a small budget in a tiny space, Signature had its first sold-out hit. Signature produced the musical 2 more times over the years, including a 1999 production starring Norm Lewis. The first 2 productions featured Signature's co-founder, Donna Migliaccio, in the role of Mrs. Lovett. Here's Donna recreating her memorable performance of The Worst Pies in London.
A customer! Wait, what you rush, what you hurry? You gave me such a fright, I thought you was a ghost. Half a minute, can't you sit? Sit you down, sit! All I meant is that I haven't seen a customer for weeks. Did you come in for a pie, sir? Do forgive me if he head's a little vague. Ugh, what is that? But you think we had the plague? From the way that people keep avoiding, no you don't. Heaven knows I try, sir. But then no one comes in even to inhale. Right you are, sir, would you like a drop of ale? Mind you, I can't hardly blame them. These are probably the worst pies in London. I know why nobody cares to take them. I should know, I make them. We're good now, the worst pies in London. Even that's polite, the worst pies in London. If you dare to take a bite, is that just disgusting? You have to concede it. It's nothing but cresting. Here, drink this, you'll need it. The worst pies in London. And no wonder with the price of meat what it is. When you get it, never thought I'd live to see the day. Men would think it was a treat, fine and poor animals what are dying in the street. Mrs. Mooney has a pie shop, does a business, but I noticed something weird. Lately all the neighbors' cats have disappeared. Got to hand it to her, what I calls enterprise. Popping, pushing the pies, wouldn't do in my shop. Just the thought of it's enough to make you sick. And I'm telling you that pussycats is quick. No denying times is hard, sir. Even harder than the worst pies in London. Only Lord and nothing more, is that just revolting or greasy and gritty? It looks like it's melting and tastes like, well, pity a woman alone with limited wind and the worst pies in London. Oh, sir, times is hard, times is hard.
I want to welcome to our show Ross Baum and Angelica Chéri, the writers of Gun and Powder, which had its world premiere at Signature just this past winter. Angelica, can you talk about the time you spent developing this musical at Signature Theater?
We have loved the Signature since we came in 2017 to do our SigWorks lab. And at that moment, we felt like this was a family, everyone was super supportive, and we just had that same experience, but with an even bigger team behind us, not just Ross and I, but all of the producers, the actors, our director, designers. It's just an incredibly supportive environment. Everyone is super excited about the show, about the work, the community. I think one of the things that the Signature does very, very well is get the Signature community involved. And so we've felt welcomed upon entrance to the theater. We just, from start to finish, always felt like we were supported, always felt like we had the creative space to do what we needed to do, and we brought out the best work that we've done so far, I would say.
Just as a first-time writer, I felt like it was an amazing place to have our first production because there's so many things that you learn along the way that nobody prepares you for. And to be able to learn all of those things in such a supportive community as Signature, I think just made me really excited for the future in general and all the things that we're going to work on. And just to know that we have a home there is amazing.
I asked you all if you had a piece of music that you'd written that wasn't from Gun and Powder that you would like to feature on the show with an artist from Washington, D.C. And you all said you had this song that you would love to hear Kanysha Williams, who is in Gun and Powder, sing. So can you, Ross, do you mind sort of setting up what the song is?
The song is called Winter, and we actually wrote it right after the signature workshop in 2017. We wrote this in September of 2017, and we were kind of putting gunpowder down for a second and thinking of other just songs that we could write. And this was based on an assignment at NYU where they ask you to write a song based on Greek mythology.
One of the really fun things that we thought that we wanted to do is kind of tackle an origin story inside of Greek mythology, and Demeter being the goddess of the seasons and of winter, we thought what better to do than to set up how it all came to be. And of course, in terms of the mythology, she creates winter out of the wrath because Persephone is gone and Zeus isn't doing enough to help rescue her from Hades' clutches. And so we thought that makes a fierce song moment. And Kanysha slays it. We are biased, but she's talented. It's undeniable.
This is Winter by Angelica, Chéri, and Baum, featuring the amazing Kanysha Williams.
Your Highness, your despicable Highness, Zeus. See how my breath turns to ice when I mutter your name. Some things are always the same. I was so foolish. How could I love such a god, an immortal, a king who doesn't feel anything? Our affair was like an inferno, passion and serpents and flames made of gold. Then you left with thunder and lightning, and I turned cold. A bitter cold breeze ran through my veins. Everything withered and died. I called it winter, winter. I stepped into ice, and all I had left was our daughter. Our miraculous daughter, Persephone. She is the joy of my heart, like a flower in bloom. She makes the spring from the gloom, and he took her, Hades, that tyrant from hell, and your brother, of course. I know he has no remorse. Now she's trapped inside his inferno, begging and pleading, but you've turned your back. Not again, you'll have to do better. I will attack. That bitter cold breeze rumbles again. I won't suppress it this time. So let there be winter, winter, winter. All of the green will seep from the grass. The heart of the river will stick into glass. The leaves will fall down, the trees will be bare. A terrible chill will cut through the air. I'll stifle the sun and weaken its glow. I'll freeze every raindrop and call it snow. I'll turn the sky to a heartbreaking hue, till you stand up and do what a father should do, and bring Persephone back to me. Bring Persephone back to me. You heard me. I know well that you heard me, Zeus. Time has run out for your games and detestable pride. Now there is nowhere to hide. You feel the chill, don't you? You don't control all the earth from your heavenly throne. I'm making my power known. Watch me make a frigid inferno, freezing and biting till you turn to ice. Feel my wrath, take heed to my warning, or pay the price. That bitter cold breeze will pillage your sky. Your kingdom will wither and die. This is what happens when you leave a goddess in scorn. All of the earth will mourn. Winter, winter, winter.
I'm George Acevedo, Signature's casting and executive coordinator. In 2012, Signature Theater produced the musical Hairspray starring Carolyn Cole, Robert Aubrey Davis, Nova Payton, and many amazing DC artists. Late in Act 2, there's a song that expresses the struggle Black people have faced and still face in their fight for equality in this country. The message in this song is as powerful today as it has ever been and shows that there is still so much work that needs to be done. Signature is committed more now than ever to not only tell the stories that shine a light on the hard truths, but also tell stories that imagine a more inclusive and just world. Art has the power to show us the failings of our past and the possibilities for our future. Here's Nova Payton, Andre Hinds, Ashleigh King, Nickolas Vaughan, and Kara-Tameika Watkins singing I Know Where I've Been.
There's a light in the darkness, though the night is black as my skin. There's a light burning bright, showing me the way, but I know where I've been. There's a cry in the distance. It's a voice that comes from deep within. There's a cry asking why. I pray the answers up ahead, 'cause I know where I've been. There's a road we've been traveling, lost so many on the way, but the riches will be plenty, worth the price we had to pay. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle we have yet to win. And there's pride in my heart, 'cause I know where I'm going, and I know where I've been. There's a road we must travel. There's a promise we must make. Oh, but the riches will be plenty, yeah, worth the risk and the chances we take. There's a dream in the future. There's a struggle we have yet to win. Use that pride in your heart to lift up to tomorrow, 'cause just to sit still will be a sin. Lord knows I know where I've been. I give thanks to my God, 'cause I know where I've been.
That's all for this week's episode of The Signature Show. I want to say a very special thank you to the patrons and the donors who continue to support Signature during these very difficult times. We have a lot that we're planning for the coming months, and I can't wait to share with you everything that we've been dreaming up. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.